just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Okay. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Camille Smith, and golly, we are at episode 220. And it's been a long time coming, and as you guys know, this is going to be a premiere. I wasn't sure how I was going to be this weekend that you guys are watching it, so I just decided to have something pre-recorded. And not only do I have it as a pre-recording, but I have a special guest with me, and I think this is a great way to wrap up the end of March. Spring is not looking nice, but we want to make sure I have the proper colors to make it seem like spring. And it's actually, and I'm going to get it right this time, y'all, it's Black Mental Health Month. So I thought it would be amazing to have someone that can talk about mental health, especially for Black folks and entrepreneurs. So welcome. Welcome. And this is Alethia Cadore. Did I say it right?
Alethia, yeah, close up.
Alethia, oh my god. See, and because we don't edit anything, Alethia, say it one more time with me. See, now I'm getting nervous.
Oh no, everyone calls me Ali. Call me Ali. It's okay.
Ali? Okay.
Ali.
Folks, we have
Okay.
Ali here.
Hey.
How's it
How are
going?
people out in your land? I am doing
Right?
fantastic. I did tell you earlier when I came on, I had some sad news, but I decided,
Yes.
you know what, gotta pivot,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep it moving right now.
And I appreciate that because golly, it seems like we're all, especially 2025, it's been really heavy as of late, right?
Yeah.
And I think as like women like ourselves, or like entrepreneurs that, and the men, don't worry men, I'm not scooting y'all out. We just need to find ways to like keep afloat, I will say, and just try to manage day by day. That's what I tell a lot of folks, of like, just take day by day, hour by hour, if you have to, especially when it gets gloomy. It's not that gloomy today. The sun has come out again, so praise Jah. Um, and Ali, I just want folks to know that I've been following you. So I've been following you for quite a while,
Oh,
and the first time I met you in person was at Andre Rose, big up, his retreat.
yes. Oh my
And
God.
I loved what you were saying, because it was just like mindfulness, and like with Fitness IQ services, I talk about like peace of mind and stuff, especially when it comes to finance, right? Because a lot of people get stressed with that. But I definitely want to give you your flowers and just say, like, I appreciate that we finally made the opportunity to meet and be able to have a discussion. So big up yourself. And I just want, like, of course I know what you do. I just want you to let
Hey,
the folks.
well, Camila, like I mentioned to you, I watched your show a couple of times, and there are many people that you have interviewed that I've
Mhm.
also met in person.
Nice.
So it's really exciting and an honor to be here amongst all those other amazing entrepreneurs.
Hold on, hold on. I gotta give you a awesome, awesome.
Oh my gosh,
And
thank
just like
you.
those folks, let the folks know who you are and how you became this lovely person.
Oh my gosh, this has been so many years in the making, but let me start from the beginning. As you know, I am an entrepreneur. I've had Minds I Like Consulting and Community Practice Inc. for 5 years now. And it's
Gotcha.
been so amazing that sprang into this call of action to connect with people in my community that were suffering from the
Mhm.
George Floyd murder. And that's exactly what I call it. And that's what really made me decide that I was playing myself too small and I needed to reaffirm my commitment to my community. And I thought it was a good time for me during COVID to start my practice and then expand it to where it is today. But prior to that, I immigrated to Canada as a young child from the
Mm.
UK. My parents were originally from Grenada and they traveled in their ages of their teens, in their 19s and 20s, to the UK, settled there for a bit, and then decided to come to Canada to finish off, the rest of their working life in retirement.
Nice, nice,
And
nice.
what made me get into this whole field of psychotherapy, I think it's
Hmm.
just realizing the complexities of what it's like to live here as a Black person in Canada.
Ooh,
And
and
some of
question.
the,
So
yeah.
question, sorry. So the way so when you immigrated from the UK, what was
Mhm.
your experience? Because I'm I'm sure it's
Question.
a little bit different, but like, how are you able to maneuver from the UK to Canada? And you lost your accent.
That's a great question. Some people say I sound so Canadian. They think I'm white when they meet me, they're so shocked. But I think that's just a natural story that majority of us have that story. But
Yeah.
just adjust to the lifestyle here. My dad was already here for a couple of
Mm-hmm.
years before we joined. But from
Hmm.
what I can recall as a child, I was already advanced than
Yeah.
my other students in the class. And I was going for extra lessons at that time because they discovered that I could absorb more and I learned more information than the other people that were around me of my own age.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to go to another grade, which was a little bit higher. But at that
Hmm.
time, I remember just saying, no, I just want to be around my friends. But yeah, socializing has always been a challenge for me, but I
Mm.
realized why. And that was because of the advances that I already had. But maybe when I was younger, I don't remember going to kindergarten and daycare and
Yes.
stuff like that. Like everything I did was at home.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
coming
Okay.
with adjustment, right? Because you go to daycare or some people go to those after school programs. I don't remember doing those things. So obviously, maybe that gives you a different foundation
Mm-hmm.
than being in larger groups and stuff like that. So when I was in high school, most of my
Yeah.
friends were reading Malcolm X, and they were
Mm-hmm.
into X Clan and Poor Righteous Teachers and everything about Black
Wow.
identity and Black empowerment. So when I was
Mm.
reading the autobiography of Malcolm X and all these things, I decided that, you know what? I wouldn't mind working with people. So
Okay.
when I
That
was in
makes
my
sense.
final year of high school, I worked at a clinic,
Okay.
and now the clinic is called. It's in Toronto,
Okay.
and the social workers were working with parents who needed therapy. And I was working with the younger people, and we were playing games and doing all sorts of activities while their parents were in therapy. So the social workers used to come out and tell me, oh, we had a really great group and da da da. And I thought, you know what, I could do this. So the day when, you have
Yeah.
that career fear and you're supposed to figure out what you want to do post secondary, I saw the
Mm.
definition for social work and I saw the definition for youth care. And I liked working with young people with complex issues because that's all I grew up around was people with complex issues. So I thought, you know what, this might be something that would be fun for me working with young people. So I ended up doing
Okay.
that for a very long time, going into the hospitals and working.
Mm-hmm.
I did mobile crisis in the community where I would go to the home if parents called and said there was a crisis. Then I ended
Mm-hmm.
up teaching at community college. So all of
Golly.
this experience, I decided, you know what, when I saw the murder
Yeah.
and they said, call of action, we need support. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start my practice now. And I just
Wow.
connected with the therapists that were in the community that were
Mm-hmm.
already doing work or doing projects. And
Mm-hmm.
I invited myself to work on these projects. And I ended up expanding. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I am here today. And I talk about mental health awareness. I provide the education,
Mm-hmm.
also do community development. I have two community clinics,
Yeah.
and we also do research where we're looking at how we can increase more wellness activities into our environment so that we
Mm.
can reduce our stress and build more resilience.
So what I hear is that you have a lot of experience with trauma and everything, but
Yeah.
and you had a group of other therapists. Did you find that there was a missing race with when it came to therapists? Like, was there enough amount of black therapists, or was there only like whites, Asian, so on and so forth that you were like acknowledging in your field?
Well, I mean, I was fortunate when I was in college. I
Hmm.
was at an organization that was a government organization and it was quite diverse. All of the
Okay.
psychiatrists and some of the frontline staff and management, they were all from diverse backgrounds. So I was very fortunate to see leadership from all forms and from all racialized people. So that was cool for me. So
Okay.
in my case, we are very diverse. However,
Nice.
we're very limited when it comes to
Mm,
the work that we do. Now,
mm-hmm.
for example, for psychology, there's only a certain
Yeah.
percentage of
Okay.
Black women and men that are psychologists. However,
Mm,
in terms of frontline and services and support, the field is very diverse. And
okay.
psychotherapy,
This piece.
there are a lot of people of color and racialized people and Black people that are trained as psychotherapists, but we might all have our different approach
Yes.
to how we support our clients, and we might use different methods because not all of us do the same thing with the same
Mm-hmm.
approach. So obviously,
Okay.
they found someone that works for them and
Yeah.
for their needs.
Okay, that's good because I find like um when it comes to therapists, I feel like they're in the same umbrella as like in the medical field, right? Or like hospital, like doctors, nurses,
Mm,
and things. So it really concerns me when there's not enough of us to be able to not only like to
mhm.
help. the blacks or BIPOC, but just everyone in general,
Mhm.
because we just want to make sure that there's different um, methods that are being shown around and stuff. So that's really ideal. And even with the awareness that we portray in this month, how do you
Mhm.
find how are you able to what's the first advice that you would give someone that's trying to seek like mental health? How do you how what's the advice that you would give someone like these are the steps to take if you want
Mhm.
to be able to find the help that you need.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is that we have to start acknowledging and taking accountability that there's actually an issue. And you hit it right there when you talked about financial wellness being a part of
Yes.
self care. And what do we say? That you got to open up those bills. You have to be able to face what that actual amount is. And I say the same thing. People in your life might have shed some light that
Hmm.
they're noticing you experiencing things, and you might have a different behavior. So why not reach out to someone to confirm
Yeah.
what that's all about? And sometimes we might want to rest on our own um, thoughts, but
Hmm.
when you're distressed or if you're not feeling the greatest,
Yeah.
those thoughts might be that they might not be helpful. So it's
Yeah.
always best to try and seek out some type of network or support that you
Mhm.
can have on a more consistent basis.
Base. And do you
Yeah,
find that do you find that it's tricky to find black folks, whether it's men or women, that want to seek help with therapy and stuff?
yes, I just find that right now, the way that therapy is being portrayed on social media, people are
Yeah.
really open to exploring what that might look like for them and if it could be helpful. That there's so many different skits and memes about sitting on someone's couch, but I run a virtual practice and I do some things in person,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not afforded that luxury all the time when we're doing something that we're coming in and out of the office. That we
Yeah.
can say, oh, yes, let's take a quick break or do things like that. Yeah, we don't. I'm losing my train of thought.
No worries.
What?
Well, like women and men, black women and men, do you find it and it's true, like
Oh,
there is
when
a
do
new
they know
trend
when?
that
Yeah,
happens.
and there are people that are very open and supportive, and they're saying, you know what, I don't find any clear objectivity and I need clarity in my life. So, in order to do that, I have to connect with someone that's objective, that doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
me, but
Yeah.
understands the complexities of what I'm going through. So, they're just going to help me sort through some of
Yeah.
those barriers so that I can really focus on myself and remove some of those obstacles that are holding me back. The other part of it is I
Mhm.
find, and that's for both genders,
Yeah.
where they just need some objectivity, or maybe they've identified that they've had struggles in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And, they might be in a situation and it's causing them to have a memory of something that
Okay.
happened to them. And it's hard for them to move past that thought.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
then, you're going to deal with it in that way. And then the other part of this is that person, how supportive they are of you. I mean, if you're um, engaged or involved in an activity, then you would want
Mhm.
to have some type of support. What does
Okay.
that
And then
actually
that's
look?
yeah. And I guess the
What?
support is ideally with therapists because it's like an unbiased. it's unbiased at the beginning until they get to
Yeah,
know you, ideally. And like,
yeah,
I even think when it comes to entrepreneurs, like right now, I could say like, whew, it's really stressful because it's like tax season,
yeah.
caregiving, and all that stuff. It's really ideal. But how would you help with like mindfulness? Because I think like the obviously mine's like it's like you want to be mindful of how a individual's coping with things, and
Mhm.
whether you're employee or entrepreneur, what aspects or what does mindfulness mean to you actually?
Hmm, that's a really
Hmm.
good question. Um, I think I'm gonna break it down. Well,
Hmm.
because for me, mindfulness, I see it in two ways:
Hmm.
is being in the present moment
Yes.
and really giving thanks for everything that you've done to move your business and to advance your personal development.
Hmm.
And it's just sitting in that space
Yes.
and really being open to what is presently in front of you. And that's what mindfulness is. It's just
Hmm.
noticing things
Noticing
and
things.
when things
Nice.
come up. Hmm.
So like a
And it's
little bit of
really, yeah,
self-awareness.
that's it.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
With some self reflection. And
Mm,
it's just,
and s-
the art of noticing and just being present in the moment.
mhm. And do you find that
You're not
like
really,
when, oop, sorry, when it comes to entrepreneurs, um, or like the difference between an entrepreneur and like a regular 9 to 5er or employee, I should say, um, that self-awareness is ideal because if you don't know the days when you're not feeling great, um, as an entrepreneur, that might last for like days or weeks, and then it's
hmm
really crucial because you're not working for a paycheck per se, but you're actually working invoice to invoice, ideally. So
mm.
like when it comes to self-awareness, do you think it's more important for an entrepreneur to be self-aware, or do you think an employee should be more self-aware?
Well, I mean, you would think, jobs that people are going to bring their full selves to the job and
Hmm.
do things with intention. So to me, I don't think there should be a difference of where you are. It's that
Hmm.
person's mindset and what they're going to bring
True.
to the position. Now, when you're on your own, we don't have that security of having
Yeah.
something consistently coming in for 2 weeks, right? But then
Hmm.
if you continue pace, um, and you just happen to be lucky with your marketing, then you could invest that much and get 3 times as much back. So
Hmm.
it's kind of tricky, but it looks
Yeah.
like everybody hangs out by a certain area. Um, I guess it's just the fantasy that they build in, when it comes to
Yeah.
these luxurious looks. But yeah, we have to just be mindful and aware as an entrepreneur. And I noticed that my extravagance of wanting things really went down when I
Hmm.
started to really invest in my business, and I
True.
was really seeing some good results. And I thought,
Nice.
well, in order for me to see those results, I have to continue in that path and that trajectory. So I'm
Yes.
not spending as much as I used to. However,
Hmm.
I might have more opportunities to meet people. So I have to attend some more networking events. Um,
Yeah. And that makes sense with mindfulness, like
and I was
self-aware,
thinking,
like,
well, based on those
mhm.
events, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. It makes
No, I was just
sense
saying
because
based
when
on
it
the
comes,
event, make one.
yes, because like especially if you go to a networking event, it kind of brings up your energy unless you're an introvert. When someone's an introvert, it's actually like the quite opposite. But when someone's like at least in between, they're able to get that rush of energy and stuff to be able
Hmm.
to go to these networks and be self-aware of, okay, I'm feeling kind of down, so maybe I should attend something that will give me that boost that I need, right? And how about the people that, like, when it comes to unhealed trauma, how would it affect their business? Like, what are the signs that they could?
Yes, so there's a couple of things, and I just wanted to touch on two of them because I actually have a webinar on what that
Yes.
looks like for our community.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things is our motivation around our business,
Nice.
and
True.
the other
True.
one would be around our belief.
Mm-hmm. That's actually interesting because, okay, when you say that, motivation,
It's
self motivation, or motivation from their support system?
well, in all aspects, because when I'm
Mm.
thinking it's your thoughts and your actions.
True. 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 It's kind of
So what you think, that's what you believe, and that's what you are.
yes.
And the actions is just in terms of what are you going to do to grow your
Mm-hmm.
business? What do you think it will take, and how are you
Yeah.
going to do it?
So, and I feel like with motivation and belief, it also shows a little bit with discipline, an aspect, or consistency. Because at least
Hmm.
even the days like you're not motivated, you find that consistency and you're just
Hmm.
like, okay, I'm gonna rock with it. And the belief, yeah, the belief is all about in the mind and stuff. So I
Hmm.
definitely understand that. So is that like the key signs to be aware of the unhealed trauma that they hold, or not much?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I find that because of our childhood experiences,
Mhm.
and also being in a school system, all these different systems, we get conditioned to respond and react to things in a certain way.
Yeah.
What I might have seen as, oh my gosh, it's disrespectful. Other people
Yeah.
are taught complacency and they're not going to say anything. And then it
Mhm.
affects them in other places. So I'm encouraging people to check on their energy levels and to
True.
check on their self awareness, which is understanding yourself. And if you
Yes.
know that you're not feeling that motivation, that's when you have to start stepping outside
Mhm.
and, meet people that you wouldn't necessarily meet before.
Okay. And I guess that in a way that would be like type of self-care practices that entrepreneurs can incorporate, right? Like, what are the types of, what's the underrated self-care practice that you would consider to help an entrepreneur or an individual that's an employee to be able to push through?
Hmm. That's a fantastic question. And this is what I'm sharing with people over the last
Mm-hmm.
couple of months when it comes to working on a wellness plan.
Okay, true,
And when
true.
we have overcome a lot of adversities in our lives,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going through a lot of challenges, like you said, some people are students, some people are
Yes.
caregivers, some people are both. They're
Mm-hmm.
running their own jobs, or maybe other jobs, or working for other people. That wear and tear does a lot on our body.
Yes, yes. So, and would
And
you? Mm-hmm.
And
Uh,
I always think to balance those things out, you have to
yes.
be able to do some type of activity that helps you relieve the stress and
Okay.
build resilience so
Mm-hmm.
that, you're able to live with confidence.
Nice. I guess that comes with well, I guess everyone always says, "Oh, Camille, make sure you meditate, make sure you journal your thoughts." Are those
That's encouraging.
practices? It is encouraging, but the word is, have I done it yet? Like the meditation I have. So like meditation,
Okay.
I don't do it all the time, but like I know then there's times when I'm just feeling like, ugh, I just need to like take a moment just to relax and things. But
Yeah.
is there any like one of those type of practices that people don't really think about that you can tell the folks here today?
Okay. Well, when I'm looking at self care, I'm looking at a
Mhm.
couple of things, and this is already researched. And people can Google it if they want to make reference. And it's called the 8 types of self care. And
Eight
in the
types?
8 types of self care, yeah, 8 types of self care. And what we're looking at is holistic wellness. So, what
Yes.
are those activities that you
Mhm.
can do in each different category that gives you instant relief from your stress, helps you provide more clarity so that you're able to make better decisions for yourself
Mhm.
and lead with confidence? And we look
Okay.
at the dimensions. What are
Mhm.
you currently doing in your life that relieves your stress?
Okay.
And we look at areas where you might not even be doing anything, and it might be that you don't need to, but there
Mhm.
might be something there that might be overlooked that could help you reduce that hypertension, which is one of the
Okay.
highest killers of Black women right now.
Yeah.
And
Indeed.
make sure that you're making some healthy choices this year.
Yeah. Can you give me one of those types that you could
Sure. Well, I was thinking maybe we could have, guessed with the audience there, but
yes.
one of them would be something that you were talking about already, and that was the
Mhm.
journal writing, which we put
Okay,
that
okay,
under
okay.
more self-expression,
Okay. So
which is more of
journaling.
your mental health, right?
Yes. And I think another one that if I'm remembering and I'm not Googling it, I'm trying to remember it by heart, um, is like nature walking or just
Okay,
being
yes, that's one of them.
in
That's for, yeah, being in nature.
yes. And you know how cold it is right now, but like when it was like nice and warm, I like strive. I was like, okay, the sun is out. I just gotta like, take a walk and stuff. So I really like that one. Even I think even where it comes to mental health, like if you have invisible disability or um physical, just try to go outside. And even with people with like depression and all that stuff, it is good idea to go out for a walk just to get the fresh air, right? I think that's one thing that people need to learn to like take that break and stuff with the fresh air. And
Hmm.
I think what's another one? How do you I think I'm asking this for a friend, aka myself. How do you check in with your emotional health during high stress business periods?
I think that's fantastic. And just to roll into the self care that we were earlier talking about, the
Hmm.
journal writing would go into the emotional piece because it's a part of
Okay.
a way to, release some of that energy that might be pent up during the day. So
Okay.
that's great that you're on your pathway to
Hmm.
taking care of yourself because that
I'm
means that
trying.
you're taking off. That's great. That's all we ask. Take it off
Yeah.
and make sure that that's covered. And when you do it over some periods of time, you'll have the consistency that you could measure from when you started until now how
Hmm.
things are going.
Okay. Okay. And yeah, I guess the journaling. I find like when it
Yeah.
comes to like a period like this, listening to music and resting is ideal. I think more so my body tells me when to rest, not me knowing when to rest.
Yeah.
And that's ideal. And this is something, and here's another thing that I always ask, and it could be anything, whether it's mental health or finances. What are three things you wish you knew? Actually, yeah,
Hmm.
what's three things you wish you knew when you were younger? And it could be personal finance or mental health, because I want us to keep focus on the mental health, because it's we're on
Okay.
the last day of it, right? Oh,
Yeah, so I can see why it's so important to talk about some of the things that we're seeing
mm-hmm.
in the community with an increase of people coming for help. They still want to get affordable cost for for dealing with challenges to their mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh,
it's
but I mean
really,
for yourself. What did
oh,
you
for
wish
me, the
you
things
were
that I
able to?
do. Oh, sorry.
Mm, no worries.
Things that I knew when I was younger. Yeah, I could delay all those fancy things that I always like, because later on in life, they're just going to sit in your closet or they're going to sit in your cupboard and you're not going to use them. So don't
We
get too
gotta
hung up
rotate
on things.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And,
All right, so that's one.
the other
So
thing is just be patient. Yeah,
okay.
being patient because you will see the fruits of your labor.
Mm, true.
Um,
That's very true. The fruits
and
of
I'd
your
have to say,
labor
what else?
could
Hmm,
be anything. Could
I'm
be
just trying to.
personal finance or mental health. No worries.
Well, it's just the fact that I'm telling my um, building a business,
Mm,
sharing
okay.
stories of people that have faced some challenges.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I don't think I would even imagine myself doing,
Yeah.
but I'm doing that now.
Nice. Yeah, you know what, that's my folks were entrepreneurs themselves, so it's seeing it when you're
Cool.
young, it actually helps and things. And I'm excited because tonight you have a wellness package plan. Golly, what's the right word to say? I've been joining your weekly evenings with just
Okay.
sorry, we with your what is it, wellness for entrepreneurs. I'm saying it incorrectly right now. Golly, Bob, help me out. Oh my gosh, I had a brain fart for a moment. See, this is what happens when it's tax season, you're just trying to figure out everything.
You know?
Yeah, just I really appreciate that you have this program, because I think for entrepreneurs, like it's gonna be like 6 7 weeks of just trying to figure out certain things. So I appreciate that. Are there any other things that you're doing at the same time as well?
Yes. Well, personal. Okay, yeah. And right now I'm just working on some research on
Mm-hmm.
social for Black women, just looking at the
Okay.
activities that we do that helps us relieve stress and find community.
Mm-hmm.
And just going to continue with my clinics for the summer.
Yes. Nice.
My
And
students that I
hopefully the
have.
retreat. Are you
Yes.
gonna be at
I'm
Andre? Okay.
to it.
Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. And how can the folks find you? Like where can they reach out to you? And I
Okay.
know I have it here. I think they're able to find you.
Okay.
You're on
So if you want to connect
Instagram.
with me,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
Instagram, LinkedIn. I have a Facebook
Hmm.
private group, and also you
Oh,
can
nice.
message me on WhatsApp. So,
Uh-huh.
when they say, oh, they can't get you, you know that they didn't try all the avenues.
That is very true, cause we're in a WhatsApp group, and I think honestly, maybe every week or every day, I see you have something. So you're really active, like you're really busy. I totally understand. Like you're you're making sure that folks can find you, so there's no excuse, right? And
Exactly. The first thing that should come up is my name, of course. Um,
exactly.
yeah, it shouldn't be hard, or they'll just say, "Oh my gosh, it's her." Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's really fun to see that.
Yeah. And I really appreciate this. I know you're a busy lady and all that stuff. Is there any other advice that you would give anyone when it comes to this month, or just what's going to be just like something they can stick with for the next quarter, because we are finishing the first quarter of 2025. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you'd want to help convince folks how to keep striving, especially as an entrepreneur?
Yes, and my first thing is to congratulate you on going in a different path than that traditional sense of people that are
True.
going into things that they don't really love and they're not passionate about. And that is the energy transfer that I wanted to talk about. Because if you're not feeling good about your business and you're always worried and thinking that you lack, that's what you're going to continue receiving. So we have to make sure that we see ourselves in the position that you want to be in.
Mm-hmm. That's very
Yeah.
true, because I think when it comes to, there's many people that aren't like entrepreneurship dropped into their lap, right? Some
Okay.
people, I think there's the four quadrants where it's like, oh, you can be an employee, self-employed, a business owner, investor. So it's really ideal for folks to kind of be aware of staying in their lane. So it's okay to be an employee. Um, and it's okay to be a self-employed. Once you're able to figure out how to be like a business owner or investor, then you really know how to be able to work with with what you got. And if you want to
Yeah.
transition into a next field like entrepreneurship, it's a-okay. Just know the steps and all that stuff. And
Hmm.
yeah, so I really appreciate you coming through, because I really wanted to talk about mental health, especially with this
Okay.
month. And um I'm glad that we've gotten the opportunity to have a discussion, and hopefully we'll be able
Yeah.
to do another one and everything. So folks, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and yeah, just like mental health, um, we have to figure out how we'd be able to strive each day, each week, each month. And for the folks that are grieving, because I know you had you got sad news today, I just hope that that person's legacy will stay within your heart for time and time again. All right, folks. Until next time, I will see y'all. It's obviously this is a premiere, so I will see y'all in a week time. All right. Have a good one.
Yeah. And see everybody at Minds I Like and
Yes.
mindsilike.ca.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Till next time, folks.
I just wanna be free with my people to prosper.